side.
This is spectacular. It is absolutely spectacular looking at that command module America down there coming across the surface. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get it right. Hit it on the right side. It'll go this way, maybe. Got it. Okay.
While strolling through the park one day, all in the merry month of May.
I was strolling on the moon one day, in the merry, merry month of December. Now, May. When, much to my surprise, a pair of bunny eyes. Oh, is this a neat way to travel? Isn't it great? I like to skip along. 99, proceeded, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. Vector good. X-Thought.
Man, that's 50 years ago, almost 50 years ago. It was in December 72, and that was Apollo 17, the last Apollo mission to the moon. And they used the Saturn V rocket to get to the moon. And now the Artemis mission will use the SLS, the Space Launch System. And actually it was planned to send this rocket, including 2 dummies, Helga and Sohair, to the moon. Actually it was planned to send the rocket to the moon on the 3rd of September, but unfortunately NASA experienced a leak, a hydrogen leak during tanking. And yesterday NASA repeated this test. Officially it's called the Cryogenic demonstration test. And yeah, it was actually a test to fill the rocket with liquid hydrogen and oxygen. But unfortunately, NASA experienced the same issues during fast tanking of the hydrogen, liquid hydrogen. And then they tried several workarounds, and to my surprise also, they found a solution, and in the end they managed to tank this rocket also with the pressure which will later be used for real launch and so on. So that was very nice. And I think I watched 6 or 7 hours of the live stream of NASA's Spaceflight. I will put a link down in the description, and this is really a great stream. I also watched it in the during the last test, or the planned launch for this at the beginning of September, and it's really a great stream if you're also interested. So first, the people really know what they are talking about. You can ask crazy questions and they know it all. It's really, wow, it's really crazy. And it's also very funny. It was very, very, very funny. So I highly recommend this YouTube channel and the live streams, and they are great. And yeah, as I said, there were many interesting questions, like this, for example.
Really quick, we were just talking about weather stuff. Who's asking says, would they roll back to the vehicle assembly building for a hurricane? I think the answer there is a no-brainer yes.
Depends.
It's more complicated than that, please.
If it's a hurricane, like an actual hurricane, it has met that wind limit requirement, yeah, you're coming back to the vehicle assembly building. Just because it is a named storm, there are wind limits and there are wind requirements. So if it's a weak storm, or the wind field that you are expecting is below a certain limit, you have the option to leave it at the pad.
And then there was another interested guy who wanted to know if they would reuse the liquid hydrogen and oxygen after tanking.
Alrighty, let me grab some more questions here. Thule with a good question here asking, will the hydrogen and oxygen from this tanking test be reused? And the basic answer to that is some of it will be. So some of it will be lost to processes of what is known as boil off. So as it transitions from a liquid to a gas, and then those gases, if it's oxygen, are just vented out the bottom of the engines or out the side of the core stage, which we'll see here momentarily as fueling operations continue. And then the gaseous hydrogen, when it boils off the liquid hydrogen, when it boils off to gaseous form, is then vented safely away from the rocket and out to its flare stack, where it is burned off. But I'm going to keep answering this question. We answered it from the gaseous perspective. Some of the liquid hydrogen is also used to bleed the four engines. And then that liquid hydrogen is then not put back into the core stage, but is instead taken to a separate tank where it then boils off. The commodities that don't boil off will be reused, yes.
And there was also a moth outside of the tank.
Under this new, kinder, gentler fueling process that they're talking about, this would be the slow fill operation that they are going to start to get into now. Ooh, we're doing big zooms on the tank. Me like, is that a bug?
Wow.
It's a moth.
It's a moth. Oh my gosh, it's a moth on the outside of the tank.
It looks like a moth, right?
Totally looks like a moth. Yeah, a giant moth. That's amazing.
And yeah, that was not the first animal. I also learned that during another mission, there was a bat hanging, on the surface of the tank, and that was also very new to me. And yeah, many other things. Do you know why the rocket actually, or most of parts of the rocket is orange? It's just because it's not painted, because the paint would add additional weight to the whole construction. I would call it a building. Yeah, so I highly recommend this YouTube channel, and it's really great. You can really learn a lot about this spaceflight and so on. And after they finished the cryogenic demonstration test, the launch director, Charlie Blackwell Thompson, also made a statement about what will happen now.
Getting ready for launch. What does that mean? What are the chances for a launch here on the 27th?
Well, I think we'll take the data and we'll go see what it tells us. I am extremely encouraged by the test today, getting through all the objectives, and we're setting up in our scrub turnaround to begin replenishment ops in preparation for our launch day. Like I said, we'll go take a look at the data. I think I don't like to get ahead of the data. And so I'd like the team to have the opportunity to go look at it, to see if there are changes we need to make to our loading procedure, our timelines, or if we're good as is. But I'd like the team to have an opportunity to look at that before I speculate.
Yeah, so fingers crossed that they will be able to solve the problem soon. With regard to astrophotography, unfortunately now we're having 3 weeks, I think 3 weeks without a single clear night, unfortunately. So there are currently 3 projects or deep sky objects projects running, and yeah, I'm still working on it. So I cannot show you anything today with regard to astrophotography, but in general I want to open this channel a little bit. The focus will still be astrophotography, but I'm also interested in spaceflight and space missions and so on. So from time to time I will also speak about this a little bit more, I think. So I hope this was interesting for you, and thank you for watching, and see you next time. Cheers, guys.